Good evening. Welcome to Zero XP Studio. I'm Zero XP Dev. This is a bonus stream tonight. Not going to be a long one, but we need to go through some stuff because Thursday night we were stuck on my ugly face for 2/3 of the stream. So we need to go through what we've done, starting our development of our first game. So before we go too much further, let me make sure I pull up the main screen. And there we go. So I keep saying so too much. This is what we've got to start with, where we finished off Thursday night. So we've got a little ship that follows our mouse cursor around. When we program our controller controls, that's going to follow the right stick where you point the right stick to. Now, what we've got is slow acceleration. Well, not slow, but it slowly accelerates up to speed. And then, as we go to decelerate and go backwards, it slows down and moves towards the other direction. And then, just by chance for how we've got the programming and the movement, we essentially have created something that will orbit. So this will be good for also being able to control our asteroids and stuff like that potentially, because we need to create orbits for them to, and also stuff to potentially orbit the black hole. Alright, so how did we get here? Let's close this off. You'll see that we've got up on our main screen a new environment, and on our second screen, if I pull that up for a second, we've got what we left off with on Thursday. We're going to go through this and basically check what we've done. So if we go into new project, now, the first part of the stream was going through and finding a bunch of sprites and stuff that we could use. That was all on stream, fine. So we've already got sprites and stuff that were usable. We started off with adding our first sprite. Now, we added both of these frames. We got the second frame for where... Oh, that's a slightly different ship, but it doesn't matter. Where it's like tilting. Now, we're not using that, so we've got to change that to 0 frames. And we want to change it to a middle center, so we can spin around on the center point of the ship. Then that got applied to an object. And then we need somewhere to put that object. Now, the room we renamed because it's going to be levels that we've got for each one. So that's the first level, which is the nebula. And that can be placed into the room, which is way too big because we need to change the room size. Now, we're not 100% sure what our room size is going to be to start with, but we just set 10,000, as you can see. And when we zoom out, now our ship is a lot smaller in that space and gives us a lot more room to actually move around. Now, the map could be a lot bigger, potentially, but we also can't just show that on screen. We need to have a view of it with our screen size and camera. So back to our settings, we went to our viewports and cameras, we enabled those, and we set the first viewport. It was, I believe, 1920 by 1080 on both. So we just went full 1080p for now. This is just for prototyping, and then we can adjust settings like that when we go into programming our graphics options. And we had to make that visible so you can see that on the screen. I believe that ship is still too big, so let's go back to the proper one we were supposed to use. Yeah. Oh, the other thing was setting a collision mask, so we wanted that less than the size it had. I believe it was somewhere around 60, 60, 195. It'd been 197. 196. So it gives it a little bit of leeway for hitting things. Oops. And then yeah, that fits on the screen better. But when we run that, we actually, one nice thing, because it makes it easier to see if we do move, was we added another sprite, was the for the prototype background, just at the moment. So we've got that under textures. Now all that needs to be done is apply that to the background as the sprite, and file it horizontally and vertically. Now when we go into running the game, we can see we've got that, but we've got absolutely no movement. So we needed to start programming movement. Now we pull up where we went with that. First off, we've got the create event where we need to start assigning some variables. Now the variables that we assigned we put them in sets. We want to keep things organized. We went through a few different variables. I can't remember exactly what ones we tried all out, but what we ended up with was speed starship, speed max, speed forwards, and speed backwards. Now we can add to those, but basically anything that's in regards to speed is in there. And then the next one we had was in regards to the direction, whether it was turning or movement direction. And we set a speed max at the moment. We just set it as 2 for testing. Now we need to look into delta timing so that we can program by time rather than frames. We don't want the game to slow down if things get overcomplicated. We want it to essentially be able to keep up with the frames and show what's going on still. Alright, so we've got some variables. What do we do with those variables? Now, our step event is going to run all the time through the whole thing. So we're going to actually do something with those variables first. So in the create event, we were just creating the variables. First, we're going to create those turn directions. Now this is going to control which way the ship is pointing. Now we want to point to a direction So this function, point direction, you get the first point, so we're getting the point of the ship, and the second point, and it creates a vector from one to the other and gets the angle of that. So we're pointing to the mouse, the location of the mouse. Now it's going to be essentially 0 degrees, which, because of the shape of our sprite, it's going to basically decide that it's to the right. So where everything lined up, if you look at a sprite, for example, going to the right is 0 degrees, and then clockwise around is positive going up, so 90, 180, 270, 360. It wraps around as you go up from 360, so 720 is obviously 2 revolutions around. Now we want to, looking at our sprite pointing upwards, if we look on the left side here, to the right, if we had it pointing that way always, then it's going to be the right side of the ship that's going to point towards the mouse. So we added a minus 90, so it takes off 90 degrees, and now it's going to be the front of the ship that points towards the mouse. Now move direction is then going to be, if that's the way the image is pointing, which we'll see before we've got a image direction. Where is that? I remember that's controlling the image direction. Alright, but yeah, we're doing the same function, but this time without the minus 90, because this time it is the direction it's moving, and we've already pointed it. Set instance rotation, sorry. So our set instance rotation is going to be a variable that we set, turn direction, which we created from that direction function. Now we're also assigning one more variable, and this is the speed for the starship. So the speed for the starship is going to be worked out by the speed forwards minus the speed backwards. So if you're on keyboard and mouse and you're pressing W and S, if you had them both the same, they're going to cancel each other out. But because we're doing both, essentially, if you were to hold W and S, forwards is going at whatever speed we set, and then backwards is half of that speed, so it'll just slow you down. It's not going to bring you to a complete stop, it'll just slow down how much you're accelerating by. Move direction. Alright, now we need to actually program those keys. So we kept jumping between the move down and move press, the key down and key press, because we couldn't remember which one was actually for when you're holding it. So it's when you're holding it down, it's key down. When you just press it, it's key pressed is when you press down, and key up is when you release it. So we want while it's being held down. So first we'll go the forward is the, so W. Now we went through a lot of different issues in actually figuring out how we were going to get this to work. So one, what tools we used, and two, what we actually set. So first we're going the speed forwards, because this is the W key, which is our forwards. Our speed 0.2. Now I'll show you what we started with first. I set that to relative because we're adding 0. We wanted to add, so each it's stepping through it all the time, and basically as we're holding it, it's adding 0.2 to it. So I figured that it's going to keep adding it while we're holding it. And then we've got another assigned variable, speed Starship. Now initially, I believe we just had speed forwards. And we kept it as that. And then we had a direction. So in our moves, so our direction was move direction, and we had a set speed. So we set our move direction variable, and then we set our speed just to speed Starship. Now if we copy all that so that we can hit our letters S, paste it under, oh whoops, I'm gonna copy it all. Alright. But this time this needs to be backwards. Now if we tested that, one, we've got our movement, our rotation, that's right. And we've got movement, but then we had this weird wiggle effect and it was going way too fast. And if I can... the other thing, we kept going back and forth, okay, which way we need, because if you see, both of them are going towards the mouse. Now, that's the other thing as well, they're just going towards. So then we had to, okay, make that one minus 0.2. So we've got our forwards, our back, but you'll see it's just instant movement. It doesn't matter where it is, it just instantly stops and goes. And I believe it just gets faster and faster as well. It's a little hard to see how fast, because it's how fast it's going. So that doesn't work. Now, first off, okay, we need to use the max speed. So we threw in an if variable, that if speed of Starship becomes greater or equal to speed max, well then speed gets set just to speed Starship gets set to speed max. And if we copy those over, they moved up into there. Oh wait, I needed to limit that other one by half of. What's wrong there now? Speed max. Not set before reading. Oh, we did set that. Okay. Oh, speed. Wait, spelling error. That's why. Now, so we've got something going, but okay, those were the wrong way. And that's the other thing, is that it just keeps going. And also we've still got where it's the other way. So we've got two different ways we could do it. Forwards is going backwards, backwards is going forwards, so we could go, okay, put the minus there, and put the positive one there. Okay, Okay, but we've got still going the wrong way, but this time. So S is going towards it, but not the other one. Alright. Now, this is where I think we had, if that goes to the positive, that one goes back to the negative. But this time we had move direction minus 180 on the reverse. So we got forwards, but still forwards. And yeah, still same thing. So we've still got no acceleration. Now, we found another thing. Okay, so we've got our max speeds working out. So we found the add motion. So we've already set our direction, so we can just add move direction in there. And speed, well, speed, Starship. Copy, paste that into the side. The same thing. But this time we've got way too much fast movement. Now both are that way again. Alright. So move direction is not working. Let's go to a minus there. And yeah, so it's like we're almost completely ignoring our max speed now. Our forwards and backwards is going, which is right. That doesn't really look like it is the proper acceleration or anything. Okay, so what then? Well, one thing, okay, we need to actually have that as the opposite. So if we go 0 minus speed max, and get rid of that there, because that's looking for the negative. Well, that seems a little better, but it seems like it's ignoring our max speed. Alright, so what's happening? Now, there's a couple of problems. Well, one, we still don't have a proper acceleration. It doesn't look like it, at least, but it's still way too fast and it's ignoring. Now, I'll be honest, I had to do a bit of Googling and I found some results on, I believe it was Reddit. But if we go, okay, we've already set Starship speed, have we? No. Oh, it's 0. But as we press it, we start adding speed. Right. So we've already got up there. Speed forward 0.2. We're adding to it. Let's open this up more. Okay, so let's go with our speed Starship. And let's add our speed forwards to our speed Starship. So that's going to be the 0 and then keep adding speed forwards. If we do that over here as well, so speed Starship, we minus it. So minus our speed backwards. Where do we get then? We've still got no acceleration. It's still really fast. Still feels like it's ignoring our speed max. Why does it keep ignoring it? That one should be the other side to start with. Okay. Well, what if we can do something with our backwards speed as well? So if we multiply by our backwards speed, and same on the other one. So let's bracket that. Multiply, but this time speed forwards. Let me check that. Well, okay, it's just wild and out there. That's what's it doing? Why have we got nothing on the forward when we press forwards? Nothing at all. And when we hit backwards, it shoots off. Okay, did we do the wrong thing there? Okay. Let's go minus on that. Speed starship plus speed forwards, multiplied by speed backwards. Yeah, that looks all right. We test there. And it just shoots off. We've still got nothing on the front. And yeah, it's nowhere to be seen. Okay. Now, okay, we had some mess up there. So let's get rid of those add motion because they just seem to be way too fast. So we go back to our set direction and our set speed. Move direction. Speed, starship. Now how's that going? Well, now they're backwards or something. And still not going. Okay. Did we do something here? It's less than that. So we get rid of that. Let's go back to greater than or equal. Well, we're back to a lot slower on that direction. So it seems to be listening to that now. What's wrong on this side? Should that be less than? But now we've got no movement on the backwards. Alright. So that clearly didn't work, and it's going way too slow again. So we put it back. Same with this side. So we can just go place that one there. Then we looked at what we got. So, okay, we're not getting that movement. What if we put that back to a positive? Wait, no. Oh, wait, that's where we had wrong. Sorry, we had that negative. That's right. Let's not set speed direction. Oh. Alright, so yeah, we're going, but now we're still ignoring our max speed and we're still getting faster and faster. But it does look like we've got some acceleration going. So that means acceleration variable is right, but we're still mixing wrong. Maxing wrong. Okay, so how do we fix that then? Is it just from that speed? So we got rid of that and we turned that to a negative. Oh, now they're both going in the same direction. That's not right. Okay, well let's go back to that's going to the negative and 0 minus. So that's going to be the negative of the max speed, so a negative max speed. Okay, yep, but we've still got way too much speed. So yeah, we're getting our orbit effect, but it keeps getting faster and faster and faster, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop getting faster, basically. So what do? It just shoots off then. So we look back at what our variables are doing. Okay, so we're adding more to our speed forwards, that's right. And that's being added to our speed of Starship. Now, our speed of Starship starts at 0, and we keep adding 0.2 times our speed backwards. Well, at that point, it's 0, but it'll ignore a 0. So, okay, it just keeps the 0.2. It'll ignore the 0 because it can't multiply. It can't multiply by 0 without getting back to 0, so it'll ignore it. It'll treat a 0 as there's nothing there, no value, basically. So it'll just keep that as the 0.2, 0.4, etc. Okay, so speed Starship. Okay, well we messed that up around before, but still we're going out of bounds on the backwards as well. So we fix that up. Well, now we've got no forwards movement again, and this time the backwards is going forwards and going crazy. Okay, do we go back to a minus there again? Because, well, that's going backwards. We need a negative. No, nothing. We're still going forwards on the backwards. Okay, well, we'll turn that back around again. So minus 180. And we'll flip that. There's so much troubleshooting. Like, we know we've got our values, we just need to get them working with each other. Okay, backwards is now working as backwards, but we've got no forwards movement. Why is our forwards not moving? We're not bouncing out of the 0, out of the 2, because we're not getting greater or equal. If it is greater or equal to speed max, now our speed max is 2, well then speed Starship goes to speed max, so it just should be sitting at 2 anyway. So at that point, move in the direction at 2. Okay, it's not doing that. Well, let's stop adding more to our speed forwards each time, and instead, same as our backwards. Now this time, we want to not set our speed Starship. We want to keep adding to it to increase it. So let's change them to a relative. So add that value. So speed Starship 0 plus 0.2 to speed Starship. So then speed Starship becomes 0.2. Now if we do the same over here, and that to a relative, and we test there, well, hey, we've got a max speed, and we can prove that by, or 1, if we use our backwards, so 1, we've got deceleration and acceleration. So it's not just an instant movement, keeps going for like it keeps going before it slows down. Now this is where as well, if we do both, so if we get them into the corner, so there's your acceleration from a stop that way. But if we do both keys, you'll see it doesn't accelerate as fast because it's taking the forwards, taking the backwards speed off the forward speed, which the backwards speed is half of the forwards. Okay, so we can prove that. Check if we change our max speed. Let's set that up to 4. Now we should be able to go even faster. So yes, it's going, still taking its time to accelerate to the speed, but it is actually going faster though. And same again, if we pull that back down to 1. Oops. Now it's ignoring it because it's already going above the 1. So we need to keep it above 1. We go 1.6. Why does it need to be at least 2? Ah, because it's using real, and it's not real, integers. So it's rounding it up to 2 anyway. So yeah, it needs to be at minimum 2. Now we've got our smooth acceleration, and if we keep our point in the center, it'll keep rotating towards the point and orbit. So we've pretty much nailed the exact movement we want in the game. So now if you imagine you start clicking, you've got your gunfire, and then if we start strafing, we can move left and right. So that's where we got to. Now, one last thing I want to add to that one, so we're going to close that off and bring where we were exactly, our main actual workboard. We want to add a brake. So we're going to add an event, key down for space. We want to do a event when we brake, and we're going to set our variables of our speed forwards and our backwards just back to 0, just to be sure. Actually, no, we're not going to do that because we just want to, if we've got them being held, we want to do both. So we're just going to go straight to our speed Starship first. And we're going to minus our speed forwards. So speed Starship minus speed forwards. And multiply that by speed backwards. Then we go if speed Starship is less or equal to 0, well then we'll just assign speed Starship to 0. And okay, add motion, accelerate. Collide. So what if we do that and say in negative move direction, negative speed Starship. Let's try that. So we got our forwards. No, it just keeps going. Okay. It's the speed Starship. Okay, no. Okay, what if we go okay. So how do we need to add this then? Friction. Where's our friction? Okay, apply friction to the motion. If we go 0.2, do we want that? Oh, we want that relative. No? Hold on. We've got one in here too, so... Okay. Relative. No. Let's get rid of that out of there. And let's do a key up space. Stopping too quick. Or if we set a 0.1. I think we've got good working brakes. Okay. Okay. So we want some more variables this time. Dodge speed. As A, add key press letters D. Okay. So Strafe active is true. Okay, so that needs to be point direction X, Y, mouse X, mouse Y, minus 90. Plus 90. And then, so strafe direction, strafe speed. And then we should set strafe active false. Alright, let's give that a try. I don't know. Is it a matter of playing with these? What if we do that, add a motion, and then add a friction? Then okay, no, that needs to be not add. There needs to be an alarm. Because that's, yeah. That's friction. And then, because then we go, okay, so where's the alarm? So set alarm. Can we call on that? Like, do we have to set them as 0, etc.? Add event, alarm. On. Alarm 0, 0.2. And then go an alarm event, alarm 0. Okay, so if we put that an alarm 0, and then set friction back to 0. Alright, let's try that. Whoa! Strafe speed, go back to 2. 4. No, okay. Let's do that. Uh, duration. Um, Speed. Effective. False. So keep coming up. direction. Safe alarm. Okay. Alarm 0. Target. Strafe. Alarm. Right, so strafe. Alarm. 0. Strafe active to false. Okay, then if we just do that in there. No, that needs to be minus. Why does it keep going down? It's like friction's going up higher and higher. Is it not enough? Or 4 minus 4. What's wrong with it? Why is that not working? Two. Why isn't it working? it before. Why isn't it doing it now? How am I removing it from there? Friction 0, set friction 0 to 0. Set to 0.1. Okay, let's go. Set 0. Why? Why? Get down to strafe duration. Set that to 5.5. disable that. Why then? Does that need... Oops. Okay, that looks like that might be working now. So if we go strafe speed 10. Hold on, okay, what if we cut that from there, just put it at the top of here. Oh, because then that won't work, will it? Yeah, that breaks the space one. And that breaks that too. Okay. Okay. What if we go an else? If keyboard check space VK space uh, does not equal 0, then set friction enable That's weird. Why is it doing that? Let's just try that one without that else if there. Working like that. 60. $65. 70. I think 70 looked the best, where it looks like it's still sideways movement. Alright, so with that, I think that might do for our movement for now. Oh, we might need to turn those brakes up a bit actually. Hold on. Let's go then 0.2. To increase our acceleration a little. Base speed, let's go 8. Alright. That's pretty good. So we've got speed variables, we've got turn and movement, like turn direction variables, movement direction variables. Should that be direction turn? Speed, direction turn, direction move. Turn, direction turn. Alright, so that's going to do us tonight for this bonus stream. So we've gone through, we rechecked what we did on Thursday night, so we've actually got that on video. And now tonight we've also added brakes and a side strafe. So we've got our normal forwards and backwards movement with acceleration and deceleration. We've got brakes now though, so we can hit the brakes and just stop completely. And we've also got a strafe dodge. Now later on, when we start adding balancing and stuff and like upgrades, because that's going to be one of the upgrades, is like a cooldown on the dodge strafe. We're gonna get that added in. Oh, we need to fix how far because it only moves the camera when it's gone right to the edge of the screen. But basically we want to be zoomed out more, and we want to keep the camera focused on it on the center of the screen. So we're probably going to work on that next time before we go too much into anything else. So next thing is probably going to be fixing the camera position on the Starship and adding in the ability to fire weapons. Once we do that, then we can start adding stuff to fire at. So that's it for tonight. I'm 0xp Dev. This has been 0xp Studio, and we'll see you on Tuesday. That's 8 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, Brisbane GMT +10. Until then, have a great night. We'll see you then.